Okay, welcome everybody. Sorry for being late. This is the regular meeting of the Roxbury Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Commission for June 27, 2023. Did you know it's 4th of July weekend already? It's crazy. And I haven't been in the pool once because it's way too cold. So, we'll start with a call to order. Kathy, you want to start? Just say your name.
Kathy Ross, Sue Fitch,
Rob Horrigan.
And I'm Russ Dorenzo. I chair the commission. Is anybody on Zoom from the commission?
looks like Melanie is on. Melanie, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you guys hear me or no?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're good. So Melanie Jelen is here. Is Sierra here? No? Okay, so we have a quorum. I'm gonna see, let me think now. Kathy for John. And that's all of us. Right. Okay, so that's it. So we'll go to approval of the minutes of the regular meeting, April 25th, 2023, and May 23rd, 2023. On the April 25th, 2023, there was a mistake that Julie found that we need to correct. She listened to the April 25th meeting. Sue was seated at 7:05, but Sue was unaware she was seated. So she wants us, so Julie recommends we amend the vote for the April meeting on the following motion. Motion was made to deny without prejudice the change of use based on the fact the applicant has not finished the conversation with the Inland Wetland Commission on the buffer zone, and a plan for it was not included with an after the fact application. The application fee is not to be returned. Motion by Russ Dorenzo, seconded by Rob Horrigan, and carried unanimously by Horrigan, Fitz, Garglione, Raz, and Dorenzo. It should read, I recommend we revise it to read, carried unanimously by Horrigan, Garglione, Raz, and Dorenzo. Do I have a vote on that? A motion to change the minutes based on that?
I move to change the minutes of April 25th meeting.
Okay.
Kathy, you want a second?
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I don't think-
Okay, and then a second one, a motion was made to deny a driveway installation for Berry Road for Terry Fitzgerald. Must have been a bad mood that night, you know? Based on a prudent and feasible alternative existing. Motion by Russ Dorenzo, second by Rob Horrigan, carried unanimously by Horrigan, Fitch, Garglione, Raz, and Dorenzo. It should read, carried unanimously by Horrigan, Garglione, Raz, and Dorenzo. It does read that. Oh, no Fitch. Okay. Do I have a motion to change that?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. So now we'll look for a motion for the minutes of the May meeting. Any comments on that? I'll look for a motion to approve the minutes from the May meeting. That would be, yeah. Anybody?
I'll move to approve the May minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll move on to old business. John Alexander and Laura Strauss, 65 Painter Ridge Road, after the fact application. Is somebody here on that? Great. Hi, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. I went and visited it. It didn't really have any issues, but there was nobody to talk to last meeting about some questions.
Okay.
So could you go through what was done?
Sure.
Just so everybody knows that there's yeah, Mike, where's the house?
So the house is, yep,
So there's wetlands over here.
yep, so the wetlands, from what I saw on a map, it's about 20 feet off of the, so there's like a swale there, you remember the swale?
Right, yeah.
So this is the center line of the swale, this is how it comes off of the road,
Right,
and I think the main channel is here.
Right.
It really goes straight, and it's always really running. Then when it get a heavy rain, like last night, it'll come this way, but where the maple trees are here, this path right here I think was used to like get across, to dump and maybe things like that, because it's all brush through there. You can walk on it, it gets crumbly and stuff,
Okay,
but I think the water does find its way because it hits this wall and it's 6 feet deep. That's what this was. I did like a little section elevation here, and the whole swale, if we call it that, is like 26 feet wide. So this section from here to here is 26 feet wide. About 4 feet on the bottom is pretty flat. And then it flattens off on the top here about 4 feet. And then it starts to go down to where this one is. So there's another swale that I think is the main channel that goes that way. When we get through here, so there's a crabapple here that my guys threw the homeowners had them go and take off the vines and stuff off of the trees here. There's yellow birch clumps here, and then the 3 cedars that are down here.
right,
They're all kind of like on the military crest of that swale in here. I kind of drew one in here. That's probably the scale of what that tree is.
okay,
I mean, right now, everything's growing back. I mean, it's all waist high, all the grass and stuff around
it's
here.
like
is about the
living in
same.
the tropics.
Right. The problem areas that I saw on this site that we want to replant and do some planting there is all through here. So there was a, and I never saw it, but they say that there was a shed there. But I do see the remnants of the concrete foundation that was there. So that's all broken up. There's pieces of it all over the place that we picked out of there and got out of there because we want. And all the clippings that we took when we cut back everything in here, we had it chipped up by a tree crew. And so all those piles, I don't know if you saw them out there.
Yeah,
So we're putting it back. We want to kind of rebuild the soil in this area because they want to do like a blueberries through there and stuff. So
Okay.
those types of plants. But what was done here is the pool had a terrace all the way around it like that. So even to this space here, it was all the way around. This wall was there. And then there was a little jog in here. And then there was, I couldn't really call it a wall, but it seemed like a wall because it was supporting that back end of the pool. But what we did was we took this wall down to put a new foundation in, redid the foundation all the way through here, took all of this out. And then, so it's cinder block here, makes the corner here. The pool equipment was always there. I mean, if I would have moved it, I would have moved it away from here and probably made this wall come in and make it nicer, but we just lived with it the way it was because we didn't want to go any further with it. And so there were steps that came down from this side to the pool equipment. We took those out. We did do these steps into the orchard. That was new. It wasn't on that original. But then we took out this terrace, took out the terrace here, and then took out the terrace on this side because they wanted more of a pool with lawn around it.
okay,
And a couple other things that are further away, the driveway was falling, this corner was falling apart on this side. We rebuilt a wall on this side here. And plantings, we pretty much planted all around the whole street.
Are all the plantings done now?
Pretty much, I think the list that's here, there are kind of filler plants. And a lot of it is grass related because this whole side was mowed lawn here. And I think really infringed on the wetlands that, I mean, I didn't have a wetlands plan when I first got here about it until I got John's plan, John Cody's plan. And there was barbed wire fence that went through here that we replaced with the 4-foot critter fence for the dogs really. So that the dogs wouldn't go in there. What her goal is, she likes the grassy stuff that comes up and she'd like to get more native plants and plant along that fence line and just let it disappear. I think there's room here and room here in front and everything else is kind of really growing back, but she really loves the yellow birch, the cedar she wants to save. So we took everything out of those. If we can continue that, and maybe with direction next spring, when it's time to do that kind of work, maybe we'll go revisit it. So we can save the crab apples and some of the better trees that are in there.
What's the maintenance plan for that 24-foot wide swale?
Nothing, just leave it.
But like the Russian
we took-
olives and the.
Yeah, so there's bittersweet in there.
So that's all gonna take over
I know.
over time.
I mean, they won't spray. They don't want to use any herbicides, so I think it is just really a grub axe. And if it's like direct, if we can do it and if we're allowed to do it and stuff, we can come forward and submit a plan to do it that way. And their goal is really to keep it off of the trees as much as they can. And then maybe we can, some of the upward hillside here on this side of it, if we can plant it with some of the grasses and get a grass established, then maybe that'll help choke it out or stop it from coming in.
Any questions? I thought it looked good. We just wanted to make sure that they knew that there's permitting process to follow.
Right.
Of course.
And I knew that about going in. And then early on in the project, like probably a year ago, when we were going over the plan, I think I said that we would get permission to do it. And then I was away and my guys were there doing work on the stone wall that's on Davenport. And they finished the day and she said, let's try to get some of the stuff off the trees and stuff. John said it was okay. So then my guys went in there and did that. I mean, and it wasn't a little job. I mean, there was probably, I'd say 6 yards of material that was like in a pile that got chipped up there. And so I knew that, and then when I got back, that's when I met with John and then we knew that we had to come before you and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a better condition.
Yep.
It's just, the commission is concerned about people who move in and aren't aware of our regulations and try to make them aware so that we all follow the same process.
Mhm.
So nobody else has any questions?
Was it deemed a stream? Did you go there with your soil scientist or?
No, I went there by myself.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
But yeah, I saw the stream and what's been done.
Okay.
Nobody was home. I
Right.
knocked them
Okay.
off.
No
She
problem.
told me I could just come when I needed
Yep.
to. So can I have a motion on this?
I'll move to approve this as a regulated after the fact application.
Right, they did submit it after
Yep.
the fact and
Okay.
paid the fee.
All right, so I'll move to approve this as a regulated activity.
And did we issue a notice of violation?
Yeah, we did.
So we need to also approve it and then
Same motion?
the same motion, make a motion to approve it and to lift the notice of violation.
So moved.
And any consideration for longer term maintenance of that swale, or that's,
And that the applicant revisits the Wetlands Commission for maintenance of the drainage swell.
Yeah, when we see the encroachment starting to happen, we'll come before you.
Well, that could actually be the Wetlands Enforcement Officer.
Sure.
Yeah, it's best to let him deal with that. There's no reason for them to come in if he could approve.
okay, perfect.
So do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Thanks for taking the time to come in.
Thanks so much.
Joe D'Amato. 67 Squire Road soaking pool, spa, terraces, steps, retaining wall, 2 rain gardens. Rob and I visited the site, met with Joe. Has anybody seen this? Besides me and Rob?
I've not been to I've driven by and I know Jack's Brook and I hiked not far off there, so I'm familiar with the
Yeah.
pitch.
You should probably go look at it. It's a very tight space. It's a cliff that goes down to the stream. I have concerns about what we approved on Lake Laureate. Is it Lake Laureate? I know there was a fight about what the name of that lake is.
I've referred to it as Lake Laureate.
Huh?
Lake Laureate.
Lake Laureate, because it was Lake Louise too, right?
I don't
So,
know.
anyway, if you remember, that's the swamp behind Boothry School. And we approved the pool on a cliff with the waterfall.
Yeah.
and
it
then the
came back
pool
during that
cracked,
time. Yes, that's what
and
came back.
We had a structural engineer
Yeah.
look at it before. He said it was a good plan and it ended up cracking. And then he blamed the pool company and the pool company blamed him. And it's like, so
Yeah.
Rob and I told Joe that we think you need to get an engineer because it's really tight and I think the bedrock is very shallow.
Yep.
So how would this be built? What are you building, a concrete pad and then putting the pool and the spa on that?
No, essentially, yeah, typical pool construction. I do have a cross section on the plans. I do, for the record, Sam Saban Landscape Architects.
I see.
We have some cross sections of the way that how we would like to construct it. With, steel, rebar and reinforcement, crushed stone, 12 inches down below and 8 inches up the walls.
How deep is that?
It's only, it's 6'6" on the deep hand side. And
And
then,
how do they get down 6 feet if there's rock? Are they gonna blast it?
well, we might adjust it. I mean, that's the kind of the maximum that I thought that he could get down. Joe was kind of okay with even, he just wants to kind of be able to get, soak. It's not really a lap pool. He's not intending to diving or anything like that. So, I mean, he was happy with going lower,
How's
but
that different than a spa? 'Cause you
um,
soak in a spa.
there's a hot tub and then the cold and then the regular room temperature water.
Oh,
essentially.
I see.
Yeah.
Can't you get the spa to be room temperature?
It's like this, like the way kind of he got the idea was going to Japan and these, you go to these onsens in Japan, these public spas, and you have the different temperature pools right next to each other. And the idea is you could kind of swing your legs, sit in one, swing your legs over, and then hop into the hot tub and go back and forth. This could be much colder than the hot tub. That's kind of the idea,
see.
the concept, at least for kind of how he wants to use it.
Because I did say to him, you have a feasible and prudent alternative, you could put the pool in the lawn. And he said, no, I'm not gonna do that. Now I understand.
Right.
Right.
And I think, it's a big proximity to the house, just having that spot, so because he would like to use it all winter time. And keep the equipment heated. I did mention in the details too, that I this type of structural engineering it is structural engineering that's above my expertise, obviously. So I specified as part of the pool builders, to be able to get that, structural engineering. And I guess what I would ask is if we could do that as a, condition of approval, that we submit that to the building department, the land use office after the fact, rather than go through the exercise of having him potentially pay for it, but not knowing if it would be approved, beforehand, I guess.
Yeah, but there's a lot going on there that I don't think anybody's taken a look at. Like the fractures in the rock, the way they're dipping. I mean, if they pound down, that whole cliff could go.
Right,
So they need that information to know whether this could be reasonably done or not.
right,
And I for one can't approve something unless I know that it's fail safe. And I don't want to make a condition that a structural engineer approve it because then I don't have a right to ask him questions.
right.
You know what I mean?
I hear that. Yep. Yep.
He does have a feasible and prudent alternative. It's just the one or the other. I know he wants both. But if he could get a structural engineer to convince this commission that it's safe, number one, because it won't affect the stream as long as we don't have a
As long as it stays
catastrophic.
out there. Right, right.
I don't have a problem with, well, I'm not speaking for you, but I didn't really have a problem with the conceptual plan. My thing is, they don't know the depth of bedrock, but I see outcrops that frequent.
Right.
Well, I wasn't quite sure if it would be a structural engineer or a geotechnical engineer or
It's
both,
structural.
or both. I
Well,
mean, they're both special.
geotech is the, well, can the structure take the weight?
Or will it be stable
Well, that's a structure.
if it slides?
Well, usually they're both, so let's hope he gets one who can.
Yeah,
one of
I mean,
them.
people like Cardinal Engineering has both of those
Yeah.
people in their office, so to say, it could be that kind of.
And that's a good firm.
Just
Right.
for the other commission members, because they didn't see it, you don't have a map with contours on it, just to give a
Yes.
sense of the steepness of that slope.
Yeah,
Um,
15% grade. Am I reading that right?
Yes, yeah.
But-
Once you get past, essentially, I don't have them going all the way down to the stream, Rob, but it's about a 70-foot drop from the pool down
It's a cliff,
to the creek.
But it's a
creek, yeah.
stable hillside
So,
now.
yeah,
Um,
and our hope would be that we wouldn't make any, like this silt fence, the double line of silt fence is essentially the edge, just
Right.
past the edge of the cliff. So in theory, we wouldn't be impacting anything downhill of that. One of the other things is, it is about it drops from, in terms of your question on topo, Rob, we've got
it's a 1-to-1 slope, isn't it?
dig down past
Yeah.
there, yeah.
Well, it
Could
looks
very
like
well
that
be
one
that.
was- slope
Just so
kinda
you know,
comes in.
it's flat. And then it goes,
So yeah, that's to that point, Russ, we've got, this is, the edge of the pool is down at 89. And so we're lifting that end up and essentially building a tank, out of ground construction on that downhill side. So we're trying to lift it up out of ground a little bit while still keeping it structurally stable at the floor of the pool.
Okay.
So that we're
you
not,
guys could sit over here if you want to look at this stuff. Just saying, it's not like there's 50 of you.
So would the pool contractor be the one placing the boulder stabilization?
yeah. We intend to work with Bill Drakely on this.
Yeah.
Just, I feel most comfortable with him about anybody around here to do this type of out-of-ground construction, because he's certified in lots of different concrete applications, build subway tunnels and supervision like that. But at the same time, that excavator, whether it is, in-house or subcontractor, would place the boulders and do the excavation. And then we would hire a actually concrete contractor to do the terrace.
And is that kind of like just a boulder slope?
Correct.
It's.
Yep, it's 2 boulders in height, just, backfilled with gravel, and we actually have a drain. So one of the concepts I think is important, is that, you might be able to see it a little bit better on this plan, is, we've got this boulder wall here. So right now there's a drain that's in the auto court. And the concept with this is to make an improvement to, water quality going down to the stream, is we would capture that wherever that outlets, and I couldn't even really see where that came out because it's probably buried under mountains of leaves. They just blow the leaves down over the hillside right now. But capture that stormwater into a series of catch basins down at the terrace level, and then a perforated pipe right above the boulder wall, and then send that into the rain gardens to try and treat the hydrocarbons and then anything else that's coming off of that auto court. So that's got to be kind of a an improvement, along with the impacts to the stream or
So Rob, it is this lawn that comes down, see? Access,
right,
Yeah,
right.
just above, there's a stone wall just below that.
right, correct.
It would
Yep.
be-
So we asked why you couldn't come through here. It's because this doesn't have enough room.
It's really tight.
It's tight up
And there's
here,
also a stone wall right here, Russ, that kind of necks it down to, I think, only about 10
Yeah,
feet.
I was there.
So that could be, it could be deconstructed, reconstructed. One thing I was thinking is just in terms of soil stockpiling, or material stockpiling, it seemed prudent, it makes sense to stockpile it over here. And then you're also
Yeah, you're right.
a little bit outside of that upland review area. I don't know if that matters from, the perspective of being kind of closer to the stream, but
No, I mean, the field's kind of flat. It's a nice grassy, it's kind of flat,
The
but
field,
it is more disturbance
This-
doing what they're
right.
doing.
right.
And, but now I see why, because this is all stone. And I don't know how a fire truck could get in there. That's one question.
It's really tight. Yeah.
I think we should
That's
send
why-
good
that's why-
old Todd Reeler up there with a sledgehammer.
That's why they have hoses.
I'm sorry, is that the driveway?
This is the driveway
Yeah.
here, this is Squire Road.
Yeah.
So we would come off over here this way and come right across. We would put in a temporary construction
to build
access.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd have to be a
Field.
gravel pad, or gravel drive, I should say. And so we actually did extend silt fence all the way down. Over here, there's a line, sugar maples, so that silt fence would be in front of those to try and protect those. But then it does get a good ways of, this is the upland review area, 100-foot setback line, so that's, it starts to the stream starts to pitch away a little bit in that direction, so you could, feasibly do a lot of the work right on the edge there, and then kind of bale dirt back, and this is a little, this is a flat area, essentially, and so we could, do a lot of the work in this area, stage equipment and boulders and materials while this is under construction.
You bring back memories. Your dad had a pool application on South Street, remember?
Is that Mandel Boyer?
And it was right on the stream.
Yep.
And then we approved it, and then they just went in and did what they wanted, like. And then we hit them with a notice of violation, and your dad came in, God rest his soul, I had a lot of respect for him. He came in explaining how it screwed up. And I picked up the plan and threw it across the.
I heard that story.
He went in complaining to Barbara, and she said, "Well, what are you gonna do?" But on this one, we are gonna put a condition in where you have to sign off, and then if a structural engineer says it's doable, he's gonna have to sign.
Sure.
What went wrong on Route 67 with that pool is the structural engineer did approve it, did all his calculations. He said that the pool contractor did not prepare the bedrock, that they left big fractures in it. And when they poured the gunite, over time, that gunite cracked because those fractures weren't prepared. So it was one person's word. If we had conditioned that the structural engineer had to
Supervision.
be there to see it get prepared and sign off, it would have never happened. Now they had to fill it in, and it's a lawn today, so. But that's my concern, having that experience with it. Okay,
Sure, understood, yeah.
So we're requesting a structural engineer
yeah,
review the plan and sign off on it.
yeah.
And gives everyone else
And
time to go
then
look at it.
supervise critical parts to sign off on the final.
Sure, okay.
Our concern is that it structurally, everything stays.
Absolutely, same here, absolutely. And Joe
I don't want to
expressed,
see Joe go sliding down that hill.
Joe expressed the same thing, and we did bring it up to him. Drakely said as soon as Drakely showed up on site, he said the same exact thing. We need to do some core drills. He basically said, I don't know if it's possible. There's a good chance that we could, if it's sturdy rock, that we could pin, and it's not going to go anywhere for 100 years. But at the same time, if it's shaly and
Weathered.
fractured,
Yeah,
then there's no telling until you start doing samples and core drilling a little bit. And so that's, that we're totally on board with that.
All
As far as kind of timing, we'll have to see how long Cardinal is out, or whoever we end up using. We may have to, table the application while that work is being done, but
yeah,
we'll
you
just
can
keep John.
withdraw and
Yeah.
then get your feedback and then
Sure,
that way.
sure. We'll
All right.
push them along. We'll see if we
Any
can.
questions?
Yeah, I just had two questions.
Sure.
You talked about 6 feet, and I thought it was for 8 feet. What am I missing? Is it
The-
just some, yeah?
Sorry, go ahead.
They're 8 feet deep, both pools?
No, they should be only 6 feet. Did I have 8 feet on the application?
8 by 20, yeah, and 8 by 8, yeah.
No, I think
Oh, that's
it's
just the
8
width.
Oh, okay.
That's not
8
the
by-
depth.
Okay.
Yep, that's just the width.
Installation of an 8 by 20 soaking pool, an
Mhm.
8 by 8 spa.
Yeah, they're yep, they're 8 feet going this way and then 20, and that one's a 8-foot square. So, they're much smaller than a standard pool because of that whole idea of the kind of a soaking tub rather than a lap pool, but.
And just for me, well, I'm sorry, Kathy.
No.
Are you,
The other question was about, sometimes the initial process of preparing the site is presents, challenges to the brook itself, right? So during that period, you're creating this road, I guess, where the heavy equipment's coming in. And is there a review period at that time? I guess, John, maybe it's a question for John. Do you go in and check that out?
Yeah, whatever you
Because
guys
that's-
require, whatever you want, we throw into the motion.
It just seems
I
that
could be
that's the
there.
big disruption period. You're
Absolutely.
digging, you get a heavy rain with a huge, it's all going into Jack's Brook.
Make sure all the
It's not
erosion controls are in place, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe
absolutely.
you could help with the wording around kind of how to protect. during that
Absolutely.
period.
Yeah.
Good idea.
I think those are my two.
What did
Thank
you
you.
have, Rob?
Oh, can the pool, is there any chance it could be slid closer to the driveway? I know we wanted to put lounges between the driveway and the pool edge, but if you could resituate, just,
Actually, cut this retaining wall even closer in.
yeah, I mean, every little bit helps if it's not too much disturbance.
It does get pretty tight right here. We are kind of, we also have the fact that we have to get down here with stairs from the deck area. Is it doable? Probably, yeah. I mean, there's a propane tank right here, but that's gonna have to get moved during this construction anyway. And the drain is well outside of that, so we potentially could come a little bit more shallower, even if we just pick up a couple feet, potentially, we could do that.
Yeah, that would be better, I think. All right, we'll have to see what the engineers have.
Okay,
Thanks, Sam.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
thank you all.
New business.
Anybody else need the easel? Sorry. Otherwise, the easel, does anybody else need
Oh,
the
it
easel?
was Sam's easel, so you can, yeah, thank you.
Am I free to go?
Thank you, Sam. You know, we
Very
must have
good.
one of those somewhere in
Yeah.
Patrick's office or something.
Thanks, everybody.
Sydney Glover, 102 North Street, removal of stumps.
The only reason I sent this to the commission is because of the proximity of the stream.
I'm sorry, I don't have an easel.
I'm barely close on the opposite side of the driveway and with the heavy machinery there. I just wanted your guys' blessing.
So actually, we're down here.
Are you Sydney?
Yes, I am.
Russ Lorenzo, next to
Pleasure to meet you as well. So these are my trees right down here, right down in front of the house, right on North Street. There were some scrappy old pines, some dead trees up in there. We removed those.
Where on North Street?
Two houses in the corner.
And on the
Like
right,
past
as you're
Judge-
heading
Yeah,
north,
yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
as on the right as you're heading north?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean where they cut all the trees?
Mhm.
Yeah, that looks good. I was
Thanks.
surprised that
It's different.
it changes it. It
Yeah, it's a
really.
big look.
So you want to get rid of those stumps?
Yeah, we just want to pull the stumps.
And he made you come in front of us?
I'm new here. I just want to, I just want to get along.
You'll
Did you do
understand.
something to piss them off?
No, there's like this intermittent little stream on the side over
Street
here.
Right there, catch basin right here. And with the heavy equipment, I didn't want to have any issues
Okay.
come up.
Yeah, yeah. He can't win because if he says, yeah, go ahead, do it, then we
It's
yell at
bad.
him. and
It's bad.
How many stumps are there?
I think there's roughly 20.
They're
Yeah.
big.
There's some big ones, yeah.
Yeah, the
There
ones
was
in
some
front
nasty
are
old pines
huge.
that were huge.
Is it the wind that scared you?
There was a big maple right in front of the house. It had a leader going over towards the house. Obviously, with everything we're doing, don't want any
Right.
problems. Not a big fan of pine trees. We got a pine tree forest in Maryland right now and not a fan. So
Right.
these are scrappy. We're gonna, once we get it all cleaned up, obviously with everything we're doing with the house, re-landscape.
Is this a separate lot from this now?
This was, well, what this was originally, John had given me this because we were gonna actually do a subdivision. But we're not gonna do that now. And so
Okay.
that was kind of this temporary road and this whole.
Yeah, Kathy and I walked that.
That's what I was
Yeah.
trying to figure out, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're not going that direction. All we're gonna do is we're focusing on the house right now.
Okay, great. Welcome to town.
Thank you. Excited to
All
be
right.
here. So,
Thanks. Good
Okay.
idea, John.
Yeah, I just wanted to.
yeah.
I know.
We need to make a motion of this.
I don't think.
I'm on the schedule. I mean, give me
It's not-
something.
It's not a regulated activity.
Okay, cool. We approve
All right,
it.
I'll make a motion that it's not a regulated activity.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
You didn't pay anything, did you?
I don't remember.
Did you? Or
I think so.
did you get it back?
Okay, well, I got much more to spend here, so we'll.
Oh, okay, you could donate it to the town. We're always handling. taking
Absolutely.
handouts.
Do you
Okay,
need a
so
copy of these
thanks.
plans at all?
No.
Okay, excellent. All right. You guys, thank you so much.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Jason Martinelli, 17 Hemlock Road, ATV track, letter from adjacent property owner. Who would that be? No, I mean the adjacent property owner.
We have,
I thought we read that last.
yes, we did, right? I think that letter was read into the record last meeting, right?
It was from Bill Horgan through Kramer and Anderson.
All right. That was submitted last meeting. And he's telling us that he wants a public hearing held and that there's a feasible and prudent alternative. You own more land and this could be done there rather than here. So just for the record, Randy DeBella, who's an attorney for Kramer and Anderson, submitted a letter on May 16, 2023 for the neighboring property owner, and that would be Bill Horgan. And basically, he's just asking us to have a public hearing and to look at, there are feasible and prudent alternatives. So to give you some history on this, Rob, are you stepping down on this or are you?
When you're done, I'll.
Okay, all right. No problems. Jason owns this land along, it's 15 acres,
26.
26. And then there's an adjoining lot you own that's,
The original was 14 acres, and then we purchased from the Polys additional 15 acres, I believe, 15 so acres.
okay, is it all one parcel now or are these separate parcels?
Well, there's 3 building lots, and there's also an easement that comes in from Weller's Bridge, which I dealt with John and everybody 8 years ago to deal with, bringing a road and everything and go in there. And then I just figured everything
Okay,
was.
do we have a
There's 2
map,
building
Julie?
lots and
I do.
26 acres.
So I got a call from a neighbor who wouldn't tell me who they were and told me that there was a ATV track that was built in a field. It is a flat field with a stone wall on the downside. So Bill Horgan lives up on top. In fact, Kim Tester lives next door. This is on Hemlock Road. So just to give you a sense, there's that big white house on the corner of Hemlock and that kind of unique white house that's on the corner of Hemlock and Weller's Bridge.
Yeah, yeah,
You know how you
yeah,
can see it?
yeah.
So that's the first house, then there's Bill's, then there's Kim's. And then there's a steep slope and then there's a flat field. And there is a stone wall that he built, I think, right?
Yep, 3 foot in the ground, 5 foot high.
All the way across.
Yep.
He went in and built the track and you do that by just removing the sod. So it's a big dirt track now. And I went and I asked Bill if I could go on his property to look at it from his property because I hadn't contacted him. And Bill said, sure. And then he said, come on down, walk down. And I shouldn't have went on his property, but I did. And I apologized to him because he showed up. So he built, this is already built. It's just a round thing, but in the middle, it's pretty interesting. There's artesian groundwater. So that's water being forced up out of the ground. And it's coming out, I'd say at about 8, 9, 10 gallons a minute. Starts right in this point in the middle of the field. And then a little intermittent stream, because I was told it dries up in the summer, just runs out and goes underneath the stone wall. And on the other side of the stone wall, there's a lot of wetlands. On the north side, more towards Kim Tester's house and north of that, the fields are wetlands. But we looked in town hall and we found a map that shows this property is not wetlands except for that intermittent stream and the soils around it. And the soils around it are probably wetland soils because they get inundated a lot and, they become poorly drained. But this is flat. And I told Jason that what you should do is submit an application and plan to put a pipe in because you don't want these ATVs running through that water. You got to have a pipe. So he agreed to do that. And that's why he's here. We did get another letter though. Today I read, or it was an email.
You got a petition for a public hearing.
Pardon?
You received a petition for a public hearing.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I actually have it separately if you want me to pull it up.
And did 25 people sign it?
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know. So we're gonna have to have a public hearing.
May I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this is to the commission. So this application for this motor vehicle racetrack is right next to my brother's house. And I want, I didn't step down the last meeting because I feel strongly that I would have an objective view on an application next to any of my family members' homes in Roxbury. However, I don't think I could have an objective view on the proposed use of this. Because an all-terrain vehicle track is gonna turn up the soils, create erosion near a wetland. So, because I wouldn't really, any hard or negative concerns that I voice regarding this application, I think could be misconstrued by some. And that I'm influenced by the location of this application to my brother's home. So therefore I'm stepping down.
Okay. And there's nobody to put in for you, but we still have. a quorum.
Yes,
Melanie.
Pardon?
Melanie.
Oh, I'll see.
Yeah, I could step in.
Yeah, Melanie, I'm gonna seat you for Rob on this application going forward. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So it's already built, and I had a meeting with Jason, and he showed me a alternative where he's going around the stream to avoid it. He's gonna take the turn before the stream, and then,
Stay 100 yards away from the wetlands. It's
right,
marked up on the map,
so,
which wouldn't, oh, sorry, go ahead.
right, so let's see the map. Now, the letter I read today from somebody had nothing to do with wetlands, have all to do with stuff that really doesn't have anything to do with wetlands. It's more of a neighbor squabble, and there are things said that, quite frankly, this world needs to get more civil. Kind of tired of it. I really am. And I urge all of you to read Voices from Wednesday. Near the back of the paper, the Board of Selectmen in the town of Washington wrote an excellent letter
Oh,
about civility.
I read it, Russ. I wanted to get you a copy.
Right.
Yeah.
And I want all of you to read it. I'm gonna rip it out, and I want this commission to support them because it was well written. I don't know what prompted it, but I consult for many towns, and I could tell you in a lot of towns, people just have no respect for volunteers. They have no respect for public officials, not everybody, but the ones who don't are over the top. And the only way to bring it back is if we all say, no, we're not gonna have it this way. We're gonna treat others with respect. You can have a difference of opinion, as the letter says. I have no problem with people who have differences of opinion. But when you get nasty about it, then I'm gonna get nasty about it, and then we all know what happens. So I urge you to read it, and I want, at the next meeting, I want the commission to formally, I'm gonna make a motion to support the Board of Selectmen in Washington with the same thing in Roxbury. And I'm gonna ask Bridgewater to do the same, because we all need to pull together. The good people of this world have been silenced by the bad people, and we need to come back. That's all there is to it. So I'm not really listening to letters that have that kind of and it had nothing to do with wetlands. So there you go. There's the track, and
I'm sorry. I just see the one that I'm not sure. I
There's
can
two,
follow.
the one that curves around the top is the alternative 100 feet away from the wetlands. And then the one that goes in the middle is where the track actually goes through. And just that little section right there.
And that's.
No, to the left, Russ. See where the mouse is, the mouse hand?
So
Hand.
this,
so this is the lot.
That's one lot, yeah. I think that's building
That's-
2.
Yeah. lot two.
Building lot two.
Wetlands on this lot.
Yep, which we do not own that lot. That's the Lieberman's.
So you come in here. And this is a separate lot and you go by that and this is the lot in question.
Correct.
And these wetlands were marked by soil scientists when they were looking for if it could be a building lot. So this is where the water just comes out of the ground, which you should go see it because it's an awesome thing. And then it just drains out and there's a lot of wetlands down here. So he built the track like this. Just a big circle like that. So it goes over this. See where the track is now? And it comes like that. He's proposing to do this. I'm a little against that because it's just gonna make more disruption, but we're here to listen. So I'm not sure if making more disruption and going up gradient of where that water comes out is a better plan. So that's what's going on. Somebody wants to enter?
Brad Morris.
So Jason, is it the plan that you want, the one you're showing us where you go up? Or the one you want is what's built
It
today?
makes absolutely no difference to me whatsoever, whether we put a chicane in it, which means that we shouldn't even be here, which we talked about because it's 100 feet away from wetlands and it makes no difference whatsoever. It's all grass. I mean, everything around there's grass. All these lots have already been stripped. They've been logged, stumped, topsoil stripped, topsoil put back on, and grass grown. These are already, building lots that were ready to go.
Well, you have to tell us which one. We can't tell you.
Oh, no, I'll do whatever you guys want. I'll run a pipe through, which I agree with you.
gotta
I think that's the
understand.
smartest way because you're not disturbing anything else. I
Yeah,
mean, it makes
no,
difference
under
to me.
regs, you gotta choose.
But
We
once again,
can't.
I'll do a chicane too. I mean, it makes I don't care.
All right, so the application before us is what's there now.
What's there now, yes.
Right.
And then
And
if I
you're
run the
showing us a
chicane, then I don't
feasible
think, okay,
prudent
so why don't I run a
alternative.
chicane? That way we don't have to go forward with anything and we get over with this.
Okay. So
That
we
way
need
we're
to
on.
go look at this and I'll go with whoever wants to come. Do I have your permission to just walk down
Absolutely,
there?
go.
Okay.
Please.
Do you need to be there or it'd be easier for us if
No,
I didn't?
I'll go
have-
there. I mean, or you go. It's just-
No, I don't need
there's
you
a
there.
spring that
It's
comes up and there's a
it's
small
easier
little-
if I could just set it
Yeah,
up with them.
yeah. It's like you'll see this,
Alright.
you'll see it. There's nothing
Yeah,
goes there. It's
right.
nice. And there's rock that goes and it follows it and it's nice little beautiful thing.
All right, and I'll call for having the public hearing at the next meeting, which would be what, July?
I believe it's July 24th. Let me pull up the calendar.
While you're doing that, I just want to be sure I'm clear, because I think I heard you say the bottom is what's there now, right? Or is the
Right,
bottom
Correct.
the alternative that?
No.
No,
I
what's
got- I
there
got-
now?
I got the prudent alternative is to put the bend in it, but there was
Right.
something about a pipe. Is that in there?
Yes, that's
Well,
that line in
if
the
he's
middle.
gonna keep what he's got, he needs a pipe where that water's running.
Okay,
If he's gonna keep you'll see it.
okay.
That's why you gotta see it. then.
And so at some point you'll request either the pipe or the,
Whatever you guys want. It's up to you. I'm,
Well, going
Right.
back again, you gotta present with what, but my question too would be.
Yeah, what you need, Jason, is.
okay, well, I guess my
Is it
question
designed
is,
for the
if I
pipe?
stay 100 feet of wetlands and put a chicane in, then this is a non-issue? And then we.
Pardon?
Then it's a non-issue?
Well, no,
Yeah, we
you're
don't-
within 100 feet of wetlands,
Yeah,
is
so
it?
then, so if I'm 100 feet away from wetlands, then it's a non-issue, correct?
Well, it's
Right?
technically,
'Cause I'm
yes,
within my
but if
boundaries
there's
of what I'm
no,
supposed to be.
but
So
you could,
then we don't need a hearing.
all right, let me.
Right, I'm sorry.
Let me explain. We don't make the rules, the
Okay.
regulations, so we have to follow that. The rules say if we get a petition for 25 people or more, we
Oh, I
have
didn't
to
know
have a
about that.
public hearing, regardless of whether you're 100 feet or not, doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Should I go get a petition?
Huh?
Should I go get a petition?
For what?
I
To
don't know,
not have a
whatever the other
public
petition
hearing?
was for. I don't know. I mean, this is getting ridiculous.
would
I feel
be-
like I'm in a TV show. I mean, come on, Russ, this,
Jason.
hold on.
It's a process We don't create.
No,
the
no,
process.
absolutely. No, I appreciate that process
Right.
more than anything in the
Right.
world. No, 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 please
Yeah.
do not take that. Don't take what we're talking about now
Right.
for that. No, I'm just saying that this is, I mean, I'm cutting dry.
We're bound by law to have a public.
Okay.
hearing. Yeah. So July
It's
24th,
actually July 25th.
July 25th, should we start at 6:30?
Oh, no.
Huh?
No,
7, all right?
yes.
Then we'll have to make the regular meeting at 7:30.
It can follow directly after.
Right,
the public hearing.
better yet.
Yeah.
Better yet,
And that
yes.
way, it'll one to the other.
So I'll make a motion based on the receipt of a petition of 25 names. And Julie, we confirm those people are from Roxbury and over 18?
I believe Karen did,
Okay.
yes.
That we will have a public hearing on July 25th at 7 o'clock to allow the public to comment on this application for an ATV track. Do I have a second?
Second, oh,
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
aye.
Remember, not ATV track, no ATV is there.
What is it?
It's a little go-kart thing.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like a little
Whatever you want to call it.
motor thing. It's
Yeah.
a tiny little,
All right.
anyways.
So
just
we'll go look at
basically,
it.
so he won't hit a tree. So I made a constructive track, so he won't kill himself
Yeah.
to learn how to drive around, you know, 'cause he's eventually gonna work his way into go-karts and so on and so forth, so. And anyways, and once again, I had no idea that this was even gonna be an issue. I apologize for everybody, but I. once it was a
That's all right,
building line,
Jason.
that's
You've
all
been
I had,
cooperative, and that's why we
You know?
didn't issue a notice of violation.
All right,
You
guys.
know, you've been more than fair, and let's just move
And I
forward.
wasn't approached by anybody or anything, you know, it just like all of a sudden, John calls me in.
I just have one comment is that too, if there's gonna be a public hearing, well, it should be specified on the map what's being presented. Because,
That's right. You need a map showing what's there.
because
And,
that's, if it's a circular track, it's not showing a circular.
right, it's
track
not showing
layout.
us what's there.
You want to draw the whole track?
So we would need
Yeah.
what's there.
And you also need a design for the pipe. How
Okay.
big is it gonna be? How long is it gonna be? How are you gonna protect the water if you go that way? When they splash mud up, how are you gonna protect that area from getting mud in that water and then that's what I'm concerned about.
Okay,
It could be engineered, you know, it could be done.
no, it's just gonna be my.
Yeah. Okay,
drawing, Just like this.
Yeah, if that's the route you're going for.
A perforated pipe,
Yeah, I mean, whatever,
obviously, just like
yeah,
normal
whatever
drainage
route
is.
you
Yeah.
choose, whatever route you choose, we just need to have it
That's-
specified on a
Yeah,
plan.
yeah,
Okay, right.
This isn't gonna point, oh, you want me to write it too?
Well, this has
So you
both of them, so we're not sure which one we're voting on.
Okay,
Which one you're
so I
proposing.
need 2 blueprints of both options? Is what you're saying?
no, you're the one putting the second option and you put in what you
Which
want.
one you're.
And I would think you put in what you did, because that must have been what you wanted.
Okay,
But that's up to you. What you're showing us, if you don't like what I got there, I'm willing to do this.
okay,
That's the way I'm taking it,
okay. Right.
all right? And then they could go look at it and say, you know, I like the alternative better than what's there.
Okay,
All right. Thank you, Jason.
thank you, guys.
Thank
Sorry. man.
Wetlands Enforcement Officers Report.
Yes, Julie, can you pull that up, please? There we go. The non-regulated permits, there's actually not very many there. What do we have? 6, 5? So that's slowed down quite a bit, or 6, I see. But the last one is an NOV that I had to issue for 6 Baker Road. What happened there, if you want to scroll down, Julie, you can start the NOV that was issued. This is for Dennis McDonald. I was told that there was activity of some digging going on there, which happened.
Pardon?
Could you receive?
Oh, I'll receipt Rob from Melanie. Thanks, Melanie.
So
What was he doing? Digging the tank, septic tank?
he was putting in a septic tank.
All right,
But he doesn't have, the only permit that he has, as we know, is the wetlands permit for the barn that he originally constructed. He never followed through with the contingencies that you guys put on it for the last time. He
yeah,
never
so to
came back.
remind everybody, this is typical, there's an easy way out, but Dennis is not gonna wanna do the easy thing. He has hired an attorney, who seems like a decent person, let's hope he's sensible. Because all we're asked is, we approved the barn as a storage area. He came in and said, this is for storage. We approved it. And what's hard about this site, he keeps coming in piecemeal, right? Oh, I want to build this big garage for storage. I want to put a roof to join the two buildings, and he doesn't even have a big garage he proposed up. So then I found out that he wants to make apartments in there, and that Roxbury allows that now, right? We're before. So we brought it up on our meeting. Well, it's a change of use. We didn't approve it as an apartment. And what changes that is you got to park somewhere. So there's no driveway for it that was approved, and there's no, where are they going to park? And if they park, there's going to be oil, there's going to, you know, stuff with cars. And as you know, all around it is wetlands. How the house ever got built, I don't know. Because there's a big wetland in the middle of the lawn in front of the house. It's all wetland behind the house. So I was hopeful because we said to Dennis, you need a permit for the driveway you already built. So we want an after the fact application, and we want a soil scientist to assess the impact of wetlands based on everything you proposed in here. Because we did one of this and one of that. What's the whole impact? And Mr. McManus came in and he was very good. He had some good, right, Rob? He had some good ideas.
Yes.
And then you and him went back and forth, and he agreed that we could have a buffer. We'll do some plantings so that there's a clear buffer between the wetland and the driveway. And we said, great. So next meeting comes, nobody shows up. No plan, nobody shows up. Next meeting comes, nobody there. So we were forced to deny it. So all that's got to be done is submit the plan that your consultant agreed to do. So resubmit the after the fact with the plan. And lo and behold, we'd be done. But he's not here. And so what's the next step? It's typical of people who think they're better than us and they feel that the process isn't for them. That's what the world's coming to, I find.
Well, I think it's a matter of, it's his property and he's gonna do what he so pleases on his property.
Right,
That's been the history.
right. So
Well put.
our next steps could be we keep the NOV open. Gail is talking to his lawyer, and I think she doesn't want us to do anything until she gets that settled with him, which I thought should have been done before this meeting, because it's not that big a deal. What's there to talk about? Either submit the thing, or we'll issue a cease and desist, and we'll just sit on it. And cease and desist, he has to come in. If he doesn't show up, cease and desist will be on the property. He won't be able to sell it. He won't be able to rent it.
That's what I was gonna say. If there's a cease and desist, then he won't be able to run it. Well, legally run it, right?
Right.
The
And,
building department would never close it.
Okay.
and have you talked to the contractor and warned him if he goes back there?
Yeah.
We're gonna
he's the
find him?
contractor.
Well, I found out if he's a septic contractor, right?
Yeah.
If he goes back there and does it, we could file a complaint against him and have his license revoked. So please call him again and let him know that.
Yeah.
So what does the commission want to do? Gail recommends we sit on this for another month,
Yeah.
or we could issue a cease and desist.
No, I think we just give her a chance to, my
Okay.
opinion, give her a chance to
It's just
talk.
like what we did on 55 Garnet, and here we are a year and a half later. and-
But time is on our side. This one,
Huh?
time is on our side.
That's correct. That's correct.
Can you
So-
help me understand effectively? You have a notice of violation, so you, with that, you can't, he's already dug up whatever he's dug up, but he
Well,
can't do
he-
anything more.
he's
He's
putting
not- it's a-
He's putting in a septic tank, which we did approve contingent upon receipt of an after the fact application to approve the driveway, which is already built. And we asked him to bring in any design if he's gonna change the driveway in any way, other than add more gravel to it. And this is what this fight is about.
And isn't he supposed to mitigate?
That's what I thought. There
Mitigate,
was some other-
part of what was behind the building too. That's supposed to be mitigated,
Well,
right?
he was supposed to create a buffer zone
Yeah.
between the driveway and the wetlands.
Right.
They're
Okay.
pristine wetlands, by the way.
Yeah.
Right,
Do we
which his
know if any-
consultant said it's a very pristine wetland. So,
After we brought it to his attention.
yeah, you have to do that with him. So I'm
Do we
fine.
know if any of that was done? Any of the buffer area?
No, that's what this argument's about. He refuses to submit the plan.
Well, okay, he didn't submit the plan, but he also didn't do the buffer work and the other
Well, he
stuff.
was supposed to submit a plan for the buffer area.
Okay, okay.
But,
so-
but he built the driveways, claiming that John Cody told him to do it to affect drainage, which is not true. And if there's anything I see about lawyers and land use lately, is they lie, they have no accountability. No, they're not accountable. I mean, we saw it with Neil Marcus. He said, I lived in Bridgewater. Was he held accountable for lying about that? The lawyers aren't held accountable. And I'm really getting angry about this because we are all held accountable as volunteers. Why aren't they? They could spin any dance they want to spin, and we got to sit here and listen to it. So I'm sure we might just get the spin on this one. Because Patrick's gotten emails from Dennis saying, we don't have authority, they could say whatever they want. So we'll see. I mean, the right thing to do, the smart thing to do, the thing that a person who was of sound mind and body would do is submit a plan and work with the commission to get this done.
I'm
That's
gonna throw something out there just to ask, is if we sit on this, right, and we don't put a cease and desist, can he still, I know you say that he's got to have a permit from building, and if he gets somebody in there
Well, what would happen is
in the
You
apartment. but
can't
you
get a
don't-
CO.
But
he
yeah.
can
but
still
you can
sneak
get
someone there, say he
you can
does.
Get somebody in there, but then you can't get somebody out either.
The Criminal
and the
Housing
fact of
Authority will
it-
take care of that for the state.
Well, what I'm saying, and the fact of it is, then you can't get somebody out. And then it's always this position where, well, we've got somebody in there, then we have to have this functioning drive, you know what I mean? How it
Yeah,
gets
well,
back-
that's why,
How we get backed into a corner, that's where I'm. being-
that's why there's a process. If by next meeting, there's not an agreement, then we issue a cease and desist, which goes on the land record. And nobody's gonna buy a property with a cease and desist on it. Now, can he get a CO without a wetland?
No, he has to get
So
zoning and.
he can't legally let somebody rent.
Well, he also needs a septic system installed for the tenants. Was the tank installed and connected?
No, if you look behind,
I
well,
can't-
you can't see it, but they're putting in the leaching fields.
So the tank was installed.
I never saw it be installed. He claims it's installed, but his word is.
Doesn't the health department have to approve that after it's
That's what I was
installed?
thinking, that, my understanding is that the contractor was digging it, he ran into modeling, so he's not able to put the septic system where he wanted
Ah,
it.
he ran into wetland soil. Amazing.
So he had to redesign the septic system, and I haven't heard back from.
Well,
him.
if they have to redesign it, then they need to submit another application because the one we approved was that.
Okay.
So help me
Okay, we got
understand. So what you initially were saying was that Gail has recommended that we wait another month under the NOV. Alternatively, we could put a cease and desist. I'm trying to understand from those two alternatives, how does it affect what he can or cannot do in this month? Is it the same?
You can't do
He can't
anything.
do anything regardless of if he's under an NOV or a cease and desist?
Well, cease and desist is one step away from court. It's a more serious matter.
But
Because
effectively,
with a cease and desist, he has to come to a hearing. And if he doesn't show up at the hearing, it doesn't look good in court.
okay, but under both situations, he can't do anything else.
He's not supposed to. Nobody says he can't go block a stream because somebody did that and a year and a half later, we're still talking about it. So I don't know. There's a broken system in Connecticut with wetland enforcement. It needs to be fixed, and this commission is going to be the ones that are going to be leading the charge on that, like we did on the Shephog River. When we had deep the people in the state who are supposed to protect the environment, stand back for politics and let the river run dry. Well, the river's great now. And if the state did its job at that time, it would have never happened. Who did its job? Edwin Matthews and the Shepherd River Association had to raise $2 million and go to court while Deep sat by and allowed this to happen. Well, Deep does not support wetland commissions. They have two people sitting up there who one of them doesn't even return my calls because they could go on somebody's property and remove a dam. We can't. And there's no support, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of no support from Deep. They got all kinds of money to give out to people and they don't support us.
Excuse me. There's a dentist who entered the waiting room.
Well, let them in.
Okay, I'm admitting.
So we're gonna be taking up that fight, trust me. Because the court system is broken. There's no enforcement. You could just keep getting extensions. So that's where we are. So we will take Gail's advice and wait a month. And if we don't get satisfaction, we'll have other options. Do you know if the septic design is ongoing now?
I would have to talk to Laurel.
To who?
Laurel, Newtown Health.
Oh, okay. But Newtown's aware that they ran into modeling and, okay. All right, is that it?
I just want to circle back to two things
Yeah.
before you adjourn, unless you have something else you want to talk about. The motions to amend the motions for April 25th, that was great, but I realized after we did it, we never approved the rest of
The next
the
what?
minutes. We never actually approved all of the minutes. April 25th, we only approved those two motions, not the
Okay,
actual
somebody want to make a motion to approve the April 25th
meeting
minute
minutes. Yeah, that would be great, as amended. That way
Yeah.
we can,
as amended?
yeah. There's a long way to do it.
Oh, yeah. I make a motion to. approve.
Hello, Russ?
Yes,
Hello,
yes,
Mr. Dorenzo.
yes, sir.
We have an open motion.
And I
Fine.
second,
Hold on, Dennis, we're in a motion right now.
Sure.
So we made a motion to approve the minutes of April as amended. Who seconded it? Sue,
I did.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and I'll have one more thing after you finish with this.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Hi, Dennis.
Hello, Russell. Hello, Commission. And I have been on the phone here since 7:30 and I could hear everybody and I can hear everything that was being said. But I had to get to a computer where I could get on this way. I've called your phone, John Cody's phone, left messages, but I didn't get any
Oh,
answer.
my phone?
Yeah, I called your phone and it said that you were busy. Yeah.
No, my phone right here and it doesn't, the phone thing is empty.
I don't know. I called a number the only number that I have listed for you in my phone, Russ. It's the only one I got. I don't call you very often, so,
Well, what number is that, Dennis?
I'll take a look
Oh, you
here.
called my office at Arcadis.
Oh, I don't know.
I
It's
see.
the only
Well,
number I have for you, Russ. I don't have your personal phone, so,
Thank God.
well, okay.
So here's where we're at, Dennis.
I heard everything that was said
I know that you hired an attorney and Gail was talking to him.
and I thought he should be on, he may be blocked out too. He may only be on his phone wherever he is. And for some reason, you can't get into this meeting. I was yelling and screaming and you can't get in. I mean, I've been here since 7:26. So I don't know why it malfunctioned, but it did.
8 other people that joined before him.
Pardon?
We have 8 other people who joined before him.
Yeah, Dennis, you're the only one with the problem, I guess.
Oh, okay. Listen, I don't know.
Just-
I was, but I was on a phone, Russ. Okay, I was not on a
Well, you need a computer if you're gonna do Zoom. Everybody knows that, Dennis.
well, okay, look, in the past, anytime I've spoken.
But anyway, you're here now. So let's
Right.
talk. All we're asking for is an after the fact application with the buffer planting plan that
You have it.
consultant recommended.
You have it.
Where?
I sent it to Karen a long time ago. She even sent a note back to me and she said, Dennis, what is this plan? And I said, it's the plan to finish up the meeting from February. You have everything, this is what I don't understand. I haven't gotten involved in this personally, because I thought it was better if I just kind of stay out of it, because everybody always paints me as this bad guy. So the bottom line here is I submitted the plan. John knows about it.
No, I don't.
Dennis.
No, I don't, Dennis.
Okay, I submitted a site plan. That's right, John.
Then do this, Dennis. Here, let's make it simple, Dennis, because
You have the site plan.
It's not complicated.
It's not complicated at all.
Save yourself some money, but if you want to spend it,
Russ,
have a field day.
Russ, I haven't.
No, Dennis, I'm talking. Here's what you need to do. The town does not have a plan. If you emailed it to Karen, then email it to me. You certainly know how to email me when you want to email. So email it to me, submit an after the fact application, because we've already denied it based on the fact that nobody was at the meeting. We couldn't have questions answered. And now you really need to submit another application, because the septic plan that you submitted is no good anymore, from my understanding, that you ran into modeling and you gotta redesign. So once you get the redesign, would you please submit an application that shows your new septic, your driveway, and anything you're gonna change on the driveway? If you're gonna widen it, whatever you need to do. And then the buffer plan that your consultant, I thought, did a great job, and it's a great idea. It's not complicated. We're not looking to fight at all. We don't want to fight. We want to work together to get you where you need to be, and we are just doing our jobs. That's all. Could we do it that way?
Russ, can I talk now?
Sure.
Okay, great. All right. The plan, Karen has the plan. As far as the septic is concerned, that is something.
All you need to do is email me.
Russ, wait a minute. You said I could talk.
No, you email me.
Russ, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Russ. Okay, you want to get this heated? That's always what happens. Let somebody have the floor. Let somebody have the floor. This is the reason why I stay out of it. Okay, if you go back and look, since November of 22,
I don't have to.
I have not participated. I have not participated in anything with the wetlands, because exactly what's going on right now. You don't let people talk and you don't listen. So here's the thing, Russ. The engineer for the septic system, says that the septic system stays in exactly the same place, and they added 6 inches of material. That's it. So that's what the engineer's doing.
Good, show it on the plan. You're gonna have.
Russ, there's nothing to show on the plan. The plan stays in the same place.
Yeah.
Laurel has approved it.
Oh,
She's
that's
been out and looked at it. Okay,
Great.
and by the way,
After the fact, with the plan.
wait, Russ, wait a minute, okay? I have active building permits.
You're not getting people to live in there as CO until you work with this commission.
Russ,
Dennis.
I
Hope you
understand that.
understand
You
that.
have your plan, and by the way.
Send me the email that you
Russ,
sent.
can I talk here, Russ, or are you just
All you
gonna?
gotta do. I'm telling you what
Russ,
you need to do, Dennis.
You have the plan, Russ. You'll have the plan
We do
when I
not
get off
have
of this
the
meeting
plan,
tonight.
Dennis. We do not have the plan. It's
Land
not that
use
complicated.
Okay, so here's the thing, Russ. I don't know how you run your fragmented organization, but the bottom line here is this town of Roxbury has the plan. That's who I'm doing business with, the town of
All
Roxbury.
right, enough, Dennis. Cut him off.
Cut 'em
He's
off.
gonna keep saying it all night, wasting our time.
Yeah. Uninvite.
Send me the email that you claim to send to Karen. And if you don't, you need to submit the plan with an after the fact application. If you don't, we're gonna issue a cease and desist, and we're gonna let it sit, and you're not gonna be able to get a CO. It's that.
Russ,
Yeah, Russ has to say.
I'm sure my attorney has got my hair full here, so good night, okay?
was gonna say cut, uninvite them.
Okay, everybody good here?
Yeah. We gotta,
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
so move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Sorry.
Okay, wait.
Oh, wait.
No, no, keep it.